March. There are a few things that come to mind when we think about March. One of them is basketball and March Madness. This year, there's certainly another reason to associate March with March Madness. Welcome back to my video channel. Hi, I'm Terri Pascarelli, MVP Realty. Welcome to my YouTube channel about moving to and living in the greater Naples, Florida area. In this video, I'll share an update about the March Madness that happened off the basketball court in the greater Naples, Florida area real estate market. If you're keeping score each month, you'll want to listen to this update to know what's been happening with the inventory of homes, with prices, and what buyers are doing to succeed during March to find their dream home. I'll share 8 ways buyers can increase their opportunity to be successful. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you're among the first to know when the newest videos are being posted. I hope you'll like this video and give it a thumbs up. So stay tuned and we'll get started. Before we get too excited about the facts and figures in the real estate market, let's get back to March Madness for a minute. Where did this idea of March Madness even come from? Well, I've seen a few different reports. What seems to be most commonly agreed is that the term March Madness started all the way back in 1939. The term was coined by an Illinois high school football coach, Henry Porter. Yes, 1939. Well, these days, we talk about March Madness in college basketball. That association is much more recent. Do you remember a sports announcer named Brent Musburger? Well, Brent first used the term March Madness to describe the NCAA collegiate basketball tournament during game coverage just in 1982. And obviously, the momentum of March Madness has been growing ever since. And talk about momentum. Let's switch gears and talk about the March 2021 Naples, Florida area real estate market. They say records are made to be broken. March seems like a great time for that, doesn't it? Today, I'll share some record-breaking aspects of our local real estate market, but come back to this channel every month for future updates, because the consensus is that our market probably is not done breaking records for the year. Sellers, this update will let you know that we have a good opportunity in Southwest Florida to sell your home and achieve a good outcome for you. It can be a bit challenging for buyers, so I'm going to focus on the buyer side a bit more in this video. And along the way, I'll see if the basketball analogies hold up. Leave me a comment below and let me know if I do a decent job with my analogy. I don't profess to be a sports guru, but hopefully this is a fun way to think about today's topics. Well, what stands out in terms of big numbers in March? Here are 2 that got my attention. First, showing appointments. Homes on the market in the greater Naples area were visited 60,147 times during March. That's a historic level for showing appointments and really speaks to ongoing buyer demand. March's historic pace included 1,851 closed sales that totaled just under the second big number, $1.6 billion in total sales volume in the month. That's just in 1 month, and that's a big number. March was also the first month in a number of years where we experienced more reported price increases than decreases. Our median closed sales price in March increased 12.2% to $415,000. And that's the highest median price increase month over month on record since 2008. Our home inventory dove 73.2% from the same month last year. We had 6,795 homes in inventory in March 2020. This year, just 1,819. That's down a lot. If you're a potential buyer, for some consolation, depending on your target price point, know that the high appreciation that's driving up our median and average close prices in recent months is really in the $2 million and over market. I hope that's good news for a lot of you. Now, pending sales are homes that are under contract, also broke records in March. That statistic shows an incredible 153% spike to 2,469 pending contracts, up from 977 in March last year. And yet, we know that half of March last year was shut off due to the pandemic shutdown. Yet, despite that event, this March's pending sales still beat out pending sales in any March over the past 8 years. So it's still a pace-setting month, no matter how we look at it. All that March activity left buyers in April with a small 1.6 month supply of homes on the market. According to data from the National Association of Realtors, a 6-month supply of homes for sale is a balanced market. So this is way off from that average, and yet buyers are out looking for homes. One key reason is that interest rates are still low. I'm sure you see the reports of rates on fixed rate mortgages that are still under 3%, and that attracts home buyers. So I'm going to share 8 ways, if you're a buyer, that you can improve your opportunity to make a successful home purchase in this seller's market where inventory isn't keeping up with the number of buyers who are ready to make a move. 8 ways, and here they are. First, get a mortgage pre-approval. I didn't say pre-qualification, I said pre-approval. Don't wait until you find the house and then think that you'll contact a mortgage lender. Too late. The time clock just ran out and you missed the chance to take your shot. So get a pre-approval. If you want to talk about what that means or learn who to speak with, let me know and I can connect you with excellent choices among our local mortgage professionals. Second, be ready to make a competitive offer. Has it been a while since you've bought or sold a home? I'd say put those memories back in the scrapbook for a while. Buyers may hear the phrase now, highest and best. During March, sellers asked buyers to put their best offer up at the start. This isn't the time to play small. If you have a tall woman or a big guy on the team, send them in during the first quarter of the game. Don't hold back on their big move until later, because later may not arrive. There is less countering and negotiating right now, as multiple offer situations continue after occurring in February too. I have some tips on how to make yourself stand out in multiple offer situations, so if you're serious about buying a home, we should talk about that. Really, call me. And be clear, it doesn't make sense to offer more than your good sense tells you to offer, or to offer beyond what you can afford. But this isn't the market to lowball the seller and think that she or he will come back to negotiate with you. Not right now. They've moved on to another offer. Someone else put in their big guy and landed a slam dunk. Third, be flexible and be available to view a home at the seller's convenience. A lot of people are working from home, and small children still need their naps and their dinner. If you can be flexible, you're more likely to see the range of home options that can actually deliver a good purchase opportunity for you. Next, stay connected and respond quickly. When I'm working with my customers, I so appreciate that they text and call back to respond quickly. We may be trying to quickly grab a showing appointment or to coordinate the details of their offer. Maybe I'm just fortunate with the people I've been working with, but when it feels like we're on the same team, even an up-tempo game won't get away from us. Fifth, here's something I'll ask you to think about. Buyers, consider whether you can be ready to make up the difference between the appraised value of a home and the sales price if you're financing your home. The time clock of the contract negotiation is ticking, and sellers don't want to take their home off the market right now and mark it as under contract with you if you can't or won't make up the difference from an appraisal process that is trailing the upswing in the current market. Number 6. I'd say don't fall in love with just one house. Have a second and a third choice in mind in case you miss out on your first choice. Here's another point where I want to really compliment my customers. I've worked with a number of customers who are ready to buy, and yet who have been patient and very level-headed about their home purchase. We've submitted a few contracts that weren't chosen. Okay, learn from it and keep moving forward. It's like having the patience to play a passing game. The first shot that looks open may not be the shot that's going to go in the basket. Patience, moving the ball around the floor, and moving expediently to make a strong shot when you get open space, so maybe not in a bidding war, that can be how to make the basket and how to get the home you're looking for. Number 7, if your favorite home does go pending with another buyer, consider a backup offer. It's possible the first buyer will back out and you would become the effective offer. You can continue shopping for a home and terminate a backup contract at any time before you become the primary. It's like coming in off the bench. Not everybody can start, but the game-winning points can certainly be made by the player who comes in off the bench, is prepared and ready to score. Finally, point number 8. If you can, pay with cash to be most competitive. That allows a buyer to bypass the mortgage underwriting process and gives the seller confidence that there are less contingencies that could cause the offer to unravel. This has been a pretty long discussion about working in a seller's market, and it can be challenging for some buyers to find a home. You may think the low housing inventory is due to a lack of sellers, but that's not it. New listings from sellers actually have been steady over the past several years. New listings tend to be around 1,500 a month for the past decade. In our market, in March, new listings even increased 32.5% over March last year. Buyer demand is just outstripping our resale inventory, and new construction is taking longer to deliver as builders sell faster than their land development or sell the last home sites in some communities at a pace beyond what they projected. Sellers are raising their prices and multiple offers are still coming in. This is because inventory is limited and more sellers are realizing now is a good time to put their home on the market and get top value due to the current market conditions. Experts in our market expect the level of demand we had in March to be sustainable, and it can be expected to last for the next several months or longer. We have seasonal visitors who are staying longer than in prior years, both due to the opportunity to be outside and to stay active here in Florida, as well as possibly they can afford to wait in anticipation of more homes coming on the market, particularly in our luxury market, which has moved inventory so quickly. We expect to see more newcomers from northern and western states looking for homes here in 2021. Beyond that, as we head towards summer, we might begin to see a second wave of international buyers entering our market as travel restrictions begin to relax. So, while traditional winter season in Southwest Florida is technically over, we may be heading into the locker room to regroup at halftime. There are still more quarters to play out, and buyers and sellers who want to move from the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8 and hopefully get themselves into the Final Four. So stay tuned. There is more to come. I'll be back at the end of the next period, after April data are in, with more updates about how 2021 is shaping up for both sellers and buyers in Southwest Florida.
How does your bracket look? Are you ready? Contact me by phone, email, or text, and let's update your game plan. We can be strategic and prepared. When the coach says you're in the game, you'll be ready. If you enjoyed this March Madness update, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment on how the March Madness basketball analogy held up during this video. My buyers scored a lot of points in March, while several of them are being appropriately strategic and patient. I'm looking forward to what we can accomplish together in the months ahead. Let's talk soon.